For the days have come, don't you hear the drum, and the world's almighty cries, awake you sleepers, arise, 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 arise. They would stifle all our lives, make our bones to crack, and our masters like that, for our lives they do despise. Awake, you sleepers, arise, 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 arise. If your life you truly prize, now comes the hour, let us stand in power, look the world right in the eyes. Awake, you sleepers, arise.
If this bill is passed, then the organisers of a protest like this could face years behind bars. It could even stop us from protecting the planet, because we won't be able to hold the government to account, and we're running out of time to fight back. Parts of this bill wouldn't be out of place in a dictatorship. It is very dark indeed. We have to show our opposition. We need to shout it from the rooftops. When we raise our voices together, we're powerful. And that's exactly why it's so important that we protect our freedom to speak up. The protest came together in just a few days when we realised that nothing was planned for the National Day of Action here in Bath. We decided we had better take matters into our own hands. From the numbers gathered at such short notice, there is evidently an appetite to protest this appalling bill. And thank you all for joining us today.
This problem, the government, through the PCSE bill, seeks to criminalise the Gypsy, Roma and Traveller community. It is nothing but a deliberate attack on a vulnerable minority. Section 4 of the bill is designed to crack down on the Gypsy, Roma and Traveller groups pitching on private land through new and severe criminal offences relating to trespass. These will be used to target communities, their homes and way of life. But without adequate stopping places, nomadic people often have no choice but to break the law. Criminalising trespass leaves people with no choice but to break the law. And when people break that law under the bill, they can have their vehicles, their homes seized, they can face huge fines and ultimately imprisonment, which will mean children being pushed into the care system. So much to protest about, but it also destroys our right to protest. And if that is not a reason to be noisy and annoying and disruptive, then I don't know what is.
Responsibility to be a nuisance, because if they're not, they will be ignored. You know that. So yes, we have to make a nuisance, and yes, we have to make our voices heard, and yes, we have to be inconvenienced, because that's the only way that people will listen to what is being said. And this has a long history. People have been demanding change for centuries, demanding change against injustice, against inequality, against their poverty, against oppression, and they are always resisted by the interest of those who have made their wealth from that injustice. And I noticed, just as I was waiting here, I noticed there's someone has a placard, a good placard that says the peasants are revolting. Well, yes, that's true. They did, and in 1381 they did revolt against inequality, and the ruling class played one of the tricks they have played ever since, They said, we hear what you say, very good, now go back home. They went back home and their leaders were executed. And that's one lesson. We don't stop until there's change. We don't stop until the changes have happened. Because the one thing you know for certain is that you can't trust the word of an English gentleman. And now the demands, and the last speaker made the point so eloquently, that the demands are now so important, and our strength is now so palpable, that now they're introducing this bill. And think, the people who took Colston, the mass murderer, into Bristol docks, they walk free because the people, 12 members of the public, 12 members of the public said that was the right thing to do. What I was going to say, so and it's brilliant that it's happening in Bath, and it's happening across the country. Talking to a friend just as I was walking down, he's on his way to Lincoln's Inn Fields. On his way to Lincoln's Inn Fields, where he's going to be addressed by Jeremy Corbyn. I don't know if Stephen's going to be there. I suspect not somehow, but there you go. I'm going to lean against this. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to lean. Okay. Yeah.
If you can't hear, that the PA isn't very powerful, maybe can you come a bit closer around this side, and can you come in a bit, everyone, so that the people at the back can hear?
Have the right to make profiles of anyone they think will be involved in a demonstration. So they can go through your personal data, they can go through every aspect of your life, and if they think you might be in danger of causing serious upset, then they can prevent you from going. But it's a fine. This will now attract a prison sentence. And an obstruction of the highway, well, every demonstration is an obstruction of the highway if you take a march. We will be obstructing the highway. If it's deemed that this is excessive, some of us might, if the bill is passed, might face a year in prison. Now this is an extraordinarily excessive intervention in the right to peacefully assemble. It's to be resisted. It's a draconian attack that's more reminiscent of the anti-terrorism legislation than it is against people, because it is like that legislation targeted at people here, and it's really unacceptable. And let's just say, just finally, let's just think what the causes are that people protest against. They protest against war, they protest against poverty, they protest for union rights, again, as the speaker said before, and we must always remember our power. They don't like to remind us of that. In fact, if you watch television, you see the working class as victims. See them, but you never see their strength. And that's what we must remember. To quote an old phrase, we are many, they are few. It was through organisations and demonstrations and marches that the vote was won. Not the vote for the men of property, but vote for all men and women. And how was it met? Remember Peter Lew, they shot the people who turned up to vote, to demand the vote. And remember also, the vote was only accepted for all working class men in 1918 and working class women in 1928.
Shame.
That's almost within my lifetime. Almost. That's recent history. Now without the suffragettes, without the class activity for that vote, that would not have happened, because the men of property would have hung on to it. So when they say don't demonstrate, remind them, you're only voting because people did what you are doing here today.
And we've done through left today, all right.